Shabbat Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. And Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers out pushing the word, the truth, and sincerity, the hopeful elect, Tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yeshua, back with the WW3 Daily Update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you as well. So I saw some interesting things in like yesterday's video. I saw something interesting today through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So I'm going to kind of touch on it. It's dealing with the missiles and how the world is going to end. And people don't understand that clearly. But just the same, we're going to start right here. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I, that's the Most High, have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. In the NIV, it reads, See, it is I, who created the blacksmith, who fans the coals into the flame and forges a weapon fit for its work. And it is I who have created the destroyer to wreak havoc. Okay? So I guess that's good enough. All right. This is speaking of the missiles, right? Who creates weapons in the ancient world? It was the blacksmith. All right. You get some metal, then you forge it, you hammer it, you make weapons, shields, spears, knives, things of that sort. All right. And a sword, right? A sword is also a missile in today's world, okay? A sword is a gun. A sword is a killing instrument, if you will. All right? So, with that being said, and we're going to try to keep this as brief as I can. Let me get one more. Burning and fuel of fire. Oh. Huh. It's lucky, bear with me. For every battle, Salaki, bear with me, for every battle of the warrior. All right, so this is the missiles as well. Okay, Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this, World War III, shall be with burning and fuel of fire, describing the missiles. Okay, so we're dealing with the missiles and how this thing is. Okay, and let's see. Let's go back. The Most High is the one. Let's go back to real quick. I. Okay. See, it is I. That's the Most High, whom some of you call God. All right. Oh, it's God. Right. So we're dealing with God and missiles. Yeah. All right. So let's watch Nino here. Took me forever to find this. Right. David Nino Rodriguez streamed 2 hours ago. As Trump arrest looms, Biden-China scandal heats up, DeSantis tanks and polls, whatever. This meathead, right, he's going to say something that I just want to bring attention to. He's going to question whether the world is going to end in nuclear fire, all right? And he don't even know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Sometimes I listen to this guy, and today I did, and here's what he said, okay?
And with all this happening, what do you think is happening internationally? Well, World War III, folks, is...
All right, he said World War III. He said it, I didn't. All right, let me back it up here. All right, he's speaking on World War III suddenly.
With all this happening, what do you think is happening internationally? Well, World War III, folks, is speeding up. It's escalating. World War III, nuke standoff. U.S. B-52s intercepted by Russian fighter jet as Putin's Tu-95 nuclear bombers take to the skies in chilling show of force. I mean, are we going to get to this? Is this going to happen? Is it going to get to the point where nuclear bombs are going off like fireworks and it's just the end of humanity? Is that what ends the show? Is that what happens? Is that what takes us out, folks?
Huh? Why would he say that? Now, it's not going to be the end of humanity. It's going to be the end of the world as we know it. Esau's end, the end of Esau's world. Let's hear him say that again. And then he says a little more after that, and then I'll get Dina.
Speeding up. It's escalating. World War III, nuke standoff. U.S. B-52s
nuke standoff.
Intercepted by Russian fighter jet as Putin's Tu-95 nuclear bombers take to the skies in chilling show of force. I mean, are we going to get to this? Is this going to happen? Is it going to get to the point where nuclear bombs are going off like fireworks and it's just the end of humanity? Is that what ends the show? Is that what happens? Is that what takes us out, folks?
Well, we'll consult the scriptures and find out what the Most High says, okay?
I'm going to say no.
You are? Well, you don't know nothing about the scriptures.
It's going to get scary. And I'm going to say that I believe, and it's just what I believe.
Lean not unto your own understanding. Okay, what do you believe? You don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
That there's other species involved that won't let that happen.
Well, the other species that you're speaking of, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the angels, the heavenly hosts, they are going to make it happen. They're going to ensure that it all goes down exactly that way, except for all of us aren't going to die. Okay? Just the ones that are intended to. It's going to be a great slaughter, right, with the missiles. So you're leaning on your own understanding. The Most High ain't really dealing with you, but he's using you for this segment right here.
I think we set off a flare when we first detonated the atomic bombs Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Fat Man and Little Boy. When we detonated those two atomic bombs, I think it set off a flare to the rest of the universe.
As though they didn't know what was going on from the beginning. As though the Most High isn't in control of everything going on. Oh, they were just doing their thing, and then a flare happened, right? It's not the way it works.
There's some kids in the sandbox over there on planet Earth that don't know what they're doing.
That would be Esau, Edom.
Hey, let's get over there and watch this closely because they're idiots. Just saying. Hey,
okay, good enough. Wait, he says some more things about...
fighter jet has intercepted a pair of U.S. nuclear bombers as Vladimir Putin ordered his own planes into the sky. Footage taken from the Su-35 shows them flying beside one or two massive B-52s while Russian Tu-95 Bear nuclear bombers were seen taking off in a show of force from the Russian... listen how they label this guy. The Russian tyrant.
Okay, good enough. So we're dealing with nuclear bombs right now. Okay? This was yesterday. He's reporting on. Okay? There are nukes in the skies. And they're intercepting each other. And they're shooting drones out of the sky. And all sorts of stuff. Okay, so that's Nina. Now, yesterday on Dina, I let Dina speak. And she brought up something. It caught my ear. And I ran it back. And I said, I have to elaborate on that. So this is Dmitry Medvedev, right? He was at one time where Vlad is right now. He was the, I guess, president or prime minister of Russia. Okay. And here's what he said, right? That caught my ear. He said, God and missiles. All right. Russia threatens to bomb The Hague. All right. Now let's listen to this segment.
Court judges should watch the skies, according to a top Kremlin official who threatened a violent response to the arrest warrant issued against President Putin. Dmitry Medvedev said that, I'm afraid, gentlemen, everyone is answerable to God and missiles. It's quite impossible to imagine how a hypersonic Onyx fired from a Russian warship in the North Sea strikes the court building in The Hague.
Everyone is answerable to God and missiles. Okay? Now, let's investigate that further. All right, apparently, he said this on March 20th, or that's when this was written. So, anyway, this is what? Paul Best at Fox News. Russia's Medvedev goes on tirade against International Criminal Court, threatens The Hague with missile strike. All right, Dmitry Medvedev, the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, suggested on Monday that the Kremlin could fire a hypersonic missile at the International Criminal Court after the organization issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin. Okay, so he did what? He suggested that the Kremlin could fire a missile. Okay, and then now they're quoting him. I'm afraid, gentlemen, everyone is answerable to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and missiles. Okay, you see how the Spirit is working? God and missiles, right? Nino didn't understand how right he was when he said, is that going to be it? Is that how it ends? Right? What did he say? Let's listen again. 35. Is it going to go down like that?
Hey, folks, is speeding up. It's escalating. World War III, nuke standoff. U.S. B-52s intercepted by Russian fighter jet as Putin's Tu-95 nuclear bombers take to the skies in chilling show of force. I mean, are we going to get to this? Is this going to happen? Is it going to get to the point where nuclear bombs are going off like fireworks and it's just the end of humanity? Is that what ends the show? Is that what happens? Is that what takes us out, folks?
Good question. So do you see this? I just wanted to point these things out. All right? It's becoming clear. Here it is, the men of the Lord. We've been out there saying that for the last 15 years. The YouTube generation, and then the elder apostles going all the way back, coming up on 40 years. And here we are. Now everybody suddenly woke up, right? So I just wanted to point that out, that this is the vibration that's on the earth right now. All right? Let's quickly go to, and we did this yesterday, we'll do it again, because this is important right now. 300 NATO soldiers being deployed on the Russian border, right? They're just going to keep pushing this thing, right? Until Vlad is forced. That's what, oh, you know what? Let's grab this real quick. Salakia. I forgot to add this because this is important. This is the first thing that Nate said yesterday. Bear with me. Okay. Probably get some ads going here. This is a Canadian prepper. What did he say yesterday?
Canadian prepper.
See, is he at the top? He's going to say something about, okay, so this is Vlad and G at their meeting, and he said that this was a thing. He said that G's response to what Vlad, here's what Vlad said. Oh, if you come with the DU, right, the depleted uranium, we're going to come back with straight nukes. We're going to give you a measured response, okay? Measured meaning balanced, all right? Nuke for nuke, whether it be depleted uranium or live fire. All right, let's listen to what he says from the top, and then I'll dig in and try to find it.
Hi, folks. Canadian Prepper here, back again with the daily dose of doom and gloom. I woke up feeling bullish and optimistic this morning, and I opened up my computer. It was all downhill from there. As you can see behind me, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping sitting side by side giving a press conference just a few hours ago.
This was yesterday. This is how close we are, because, I mean, they're just threats, but we can see this thing just getting closer and closer, right? Of course, the war is going on, but how close are we to nukes?
This is an excerpt from that conference, and Xi Jinping becomes incredibly uncomfortable when Putin starts talking about going to nuclear war with NATO.
Nuclear war with NATO. This is yesterday. Okay. Nino Rodriguez was today. Dina was maybe a day or two ago. This is all going down right now. More and more talk of nukes. It's just speeding up. Everything is speeding up. Otherwise, there'd be no flesh left, right? The Most High is speeding it up.
Ever seen anything like this? This is a critically important clip that will be talked about for days, weeks, and months ahead. And if people can't see the significance of what I'm about to show you, then they are blind. And make no mistake that this was all pre-planned, okay? And that's why he gets so incredibly nervous when Putin gets to the crux of the matter. We also need to take a tour around the map here. We're going to talk about...
Okay, now here's his little itinerary. He talks about U.S. nuclear bombers intercept. Dina talked about that the other day. Alarming speech. Russia warns UK about DU. U.S. military in Black Sea. Flying drones again. A little deflection, a little, hey, look the other way. This is the all wars are bankers' wars. Major offensive, right? Going into Crimea. What is that going to do? That's going to bring out the nukes. NATO. Boots on the ground coming to you. We just spoke about that, right? Look at this. Look at the itinerary. So go back and watch this. I'm going to speed it up a little and try to get to this, where he shows Xi's reaction. So Vlad is going to say something. He's going to respond. Let's see. Okay, so they're going to speak on depleted uranium shells, mortar fire, I believe. And but I would like to note that if all this happens, Russia will have to react accordingly. Okay, react to what? Nukes. A DU shell is, falls under the category of, what are nukes made out of? Okay, yellow cake. Yellow cake. All right, so let's watch this.
This is incredible. Incredibly foretelling. Now, I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to read it in any Russian accent, even though you're apparently allowed to make fun of the Russians now, because...
Incredibly, what did he say? Important, incredibly revealing. What did he say?
Airbursts, okay? These are tactical nukes. Guys,
Nukes,
shit's
nukes,
getting real. Now take a look at this
nukes,
speech.
nukes.
This is incredible. Incredibly foretelling. Not
Incredibly foretelling. Okay? That's what we do, the men of the Lord. We foretell. We tell you what is coming. But see, the difference is we know what the scriptures say, how and when. All right? What does it say? It says that this is going to happen. Okay, not what Nino Rodriguez. Oh, well, it's gonna be a flash and a warning, and they're not gonna let this happen. No, they are. They're orchestrating the whole thing. The Most High is orchestrating everything from the top. So it is gonna happen. All right, and I know I'm being long-winded and going long, but that's the spirit of the Lord. So let's get through this.
read it to you. I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to read it in any Russian accent, even though you're apparently allowed to make fun of the Russians now because, that's how weird we are as a society right now. We have not ignored the situation around Ukraine. Many of the provisions of the peace plan put forward by China are in tune with Russian approaches and can be taken as a basis for a peaceful settlement. And I will just add an aside here. The Americans have basically rejected this Chinese proposed peace plan outright. They prohibited the Ukrainians from even dignifying having any conversations, much less peace negotiations.
When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction, right? And they shall not escape. Sudden destruction, all right? Keep your eyes open.
When the West and Kiev are ready for it, as he says. However, so far we have not observed such readiness on their part. Moreover, at the time when we were discussing the possibilities, and this is when you're going to start to notice Xi Jinping become incredibly nervous. One other thing worth mentioning is that all the Chinese dignitaries here are wearing masks and none of the Russians are wearing masks. That's just a sign of the East-West divide that remains between the authoritarian leaders. Moreover, at the time when we were discussing the possibilities, so he's talking about current events now, this is just a few hours ago, of the Chinese peace settlement plan today, it became known that the UK deputy minister announced not only the supply of tanks to Ukraine, but also depleted uranium shells. Now, why is this so important? Why are people so concerned about depleted uranium? For one, the advantage of using depleted uranium is that it's a denser armor-piercing round, which is why they want to use it. Now, the UK government, a spokesperson for the UK government, outright admitted today, which is the dumbest thing, why would you do this, that you were going to be sending some depleted uranium shells to stock their tanks that they're sending, their Challenger tanks. And of course, the Russians have a problem with this, they say, as should the Ukrainians. They should be the ones who have the really big problem because it technically is their territory, unless you're of the Russian belief that you annexed it, it's yours because of the referendum, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is that these can cause cancer, they blow up, and they spew radioactive dust everywhere, and it's a big mess after the war zone. And it basically makes a lot of places uninhabitable. And soldiers are fighting in a certain region and there's depleted uranium laying all around, those soldiers are likely going to get cancer down the road, possibly sooner than later, depending how much contact they made with it. So it's very important. Now, the Russians are saying that this constitutes using a nuclear type weapon. Okay, now understand what Putin is about to say here. And remember, we talked about this months ago. We've been on this depleted uranium thing months ago, but they're only talking about it in the mainstream now. That's why you should watch this channel more often. Just not toot my own horn, but I'm unfortunately on top of this stuff. Now take a look at this. Look at this. I've never seen Xi Jinping so uncomfortable. My name is Jim Rickers. I'm a
Salakia. We'll let this play out because it's very important.
Because he knows what Putin's about to say. Look at him. He's blinking like there's no tomorrow.
Like Anthony.
He is so uncomfortable. He is not happy where he is right now. Now, Putin has been doing this for a year, so, he's cool as a cucumber when he's talking about nuclear war. He has his whole process that he goes, okay, I'm going to read the rest. He says, it seems that the West has really decided to fight Russia to the last Ukrainian, not in words, but in deeds. Look at that mug on Sergei Shoigu. He does not look happy. Usually in pictures, he looks rather passive and neutral, but this is kind of the true character of this guy, okay? But I'd like to note, he says, that if all of this happens, sending depleted nuclear weapons, depleted uranium shells, Russia will have to react accordingly, bearing in mind that the collective West is already beginning to use weapons with a nuclear component. So, what do they mean when he says that Russia will have to act accordingly, bearing in mind that the collective West is already beginning to use weapons with a nuclear component? Read the subtext, understand what Putin is insinuating there, and understand why it's so significant for him to be saying this next to his primary ally. He is saying this because he gave him permission to say this. Xi gave Putin permission to say what he just said. Okay, understand that's how this relationship works. China is the superpower in the room. They're the ones with the economy, which is 15 times bigger than the Russians. Yes, the Russians have a more capable military, arguably, but it's the Russians who are their lifeline, okay? The Chinese don't need the Russians as much as the Russians need the Chinese. Now, you could make some arguments about, yeah, they need Russian energy, they need Russian grain, and point taken. But understand that this, in my mind, was scripted. This is significant. This is sending a clear message to NATO. The dividing line, like all that talk of multipolar world, this is it. This is the one and a half minute excerpt that says everything you needed to know. The line in the sand has been fully drawn, and nobody's really making the connection yet, except us. I'm sure some other alternative media channels are going to start touching on it. If
Good enough. All right. So, nuclear war. Okay. This whole situation and the look on Xi's face. Where is it? Where's Xi? Give me Xi. Oh, there he is. There he is. Right there. She is like this. Oh. See, because they came over to do what? To, show solidarity, but really to try to broker some sort of peace deal. And we all know where peace goes. Let's get peace. Peace and safe. Okay? Peace and safety. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay? When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, when people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly. So here we are right here. They were trying to say peace and safety. What is Vlad saying? Destruction. As labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. None of them shall escape. Not the Moabites, not the Edomites, all of them. They don't even know what kind of trick bag that they're in. All right? What trick bag are they in? Joel 2. We did this yesterday. Let's go to KJV. Joel 2:3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. These are those missiles. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, paradise, and behind them a desolate wilderness. That's what happens after the nukes, after the missiles. They destroy, right? Sudden destruction. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Wait a minute. And they shall not escape. Remember that? Sudden destruction. Where is it? A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, behind them destruction, a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them. Go back over here. When people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come upon them suddenly as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. None shall escape. Okay? These are those missiles. The appearance of them, this is Joel 2 and 4, is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. All right? These are those missiles. Like the noise of chariots on top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of the flame of the fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array, likening them unto an army. Okay? Right here. Here's what's going to happen. What Nino doesn't believe is going to happen. Joel 2 and 10. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Okay? So, these missiles are coming. All right? And nobody can stop them. All right, we'll end it right there. I just, wanted to compile through the Spirit, just the spirit that's on the world right now. We're in the whole world, right, is in the spirit of what's going to happen in World War III, the culmination, if you will. So look, 14, Zechariah 14 and 12. This plague. This shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay? All right? That's them nukes. Them nukes are coming. Where's Revelation? Okay? And again, here's that great earthquake. The earth shall, every heart shall melt. Right? Let me get that. Is it 1 Peter? 2 Peter 3? The day of the Lord. 2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works therein shall be burned up. That's those new. This is what Nino said couldn't happen. Okay? Well, this is the scripture telling you what will happen. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay? Clean dissolve. What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay, that's those missiles. Let's get this. Isaiah 24:19. Okay. Let's look at 18. Let's read 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare, for the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved, right? The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Okay? Hey, that's those missiles. All right? Nobody's going to stop them. All right? What did this guy say? He said, everyone has to answer to God and missiles. One more time. Right here. Let's read his words. I am afraid, gentlemen, this is Dmitry Medvedev, right? Who at one time was in Vlad's place, president of Russia. President of Russia. What did Dmitry Medvedev say? I am afraid, gentlemen, everyone is answerable to God and missiles. Judgment Day. Okay? Everyone shall stand before the throne. Right? Right? Answerable. What does that mean? Everyone is answerable to the Most High and missiles. The Spirit of the Most High is on those missiles. Stand before the judgment seat. Let's see if I can find it. Nope. Gotta go here. Bear with me, I'm almost done. Let's see, stand before. Let me find this here. Okay, appear before. So it is 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. Okay? Now, when the scripture says God, it's talking about Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, all right? The Most High through his Son. All right, so back to Medvedev, right? Answerable. You have to stand before the seat. I'm afraid, gentlemen, everyone is answerable to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah and missiles. Okay? All right? We must all, what? Appear before the judgment seat. We're answerable. Right? Who's the mediator? Yahweh Shah. Okay? Everyone is going to be held accountable. All right, so we'll end it right there. We hope that the elector edified you, brothers and few sisters, with that. Shabbat Shalom.